Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Mareike and I'm so happy to see you here. This channel, I do tutorials for fun and easy crochet projects that you can do for any skill level, and today is no different. We are going to make a sweater from scratch. And the cool thing about this project is that you don't need a pattern because you are the pattern. Okay, so the basic things that you're going to need is obviously your yarn. You can pick any yarn, double knit, 4-ply, chunky, super chunky, whatever yarn you want to choose. Just check at the back of the label, they have a recommended hook size. So let's say, for example, you use double knit. Usually they recommend a size 4 hook. So you're going to use that hook and one size down, a number 3. Okay, that you're going to use for the neckline, for the cuffs and the ribbing at the bottom. Okay, you're going to need clippers, a threading needle and 3 stitch markers and your body. How cool. Okay, so I have to cover a lot today, so there's no time for chit chat. We're going to go right into the tutorial. But the first thing I need to show and explain to you, this is the base of your sweater. It's going to determine your entire sweater. So pay attention and here we go. Okay, so you're going to start with a string of chains that measures from this shoulder seam all the way down to the bottom of your sweater where you want it to end. Keep in mind if you want to add a bottom ribbing, so you just calculate that in. Mine is usually between 5 and 6 centimeters wide or high, however you want to explain it. Okay, so that is the base of your sweater. That's the length of your sweater. So you're going to make a string of chains. I'll show you now when we go into the tutorial how to do that, and then the rest of the pattern. Write down the amount of chains you made because the front and the back panel, they're identical. So you're going to repeat exactly the same from on the front as well as on the back. So just for you to reference easier. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get crocheting. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly show you the basic pattern that you're going to use throughout this sweater. Okay, we're going to always start with a slip knot, like that. Put your hook in. Okay, now you're going to yarn over and pull through. That is a chain. Yarn over, pull through. Okay, so for my front panel and back panel, I had to make 98 stitches because I like it long. So I'm not going to make all of them. I'm just going to make a few just to show you the pattern, just like that. So let's pretend this is the end of your chain. This is now the bottom. This is how you're going to now hold it against your body and measure the length. Write down the number of chains. Don't forget. Okay. So for the pattern, I make an extra chain. I don't count it on my stitches because this is your turning chain. So you can go back to my channel. There is a video called 5 Basic Stitches for Crochet. And you will see there I did a tutorial for half double crochet, which is the stitch we're going to use in this pattern. Okay, so you're going to yarn over. Now you're going to insert your hook in the second chain from the hook. So not this one, this one. To insert your hook into that chain, pull through, pull up a loop. There will be now 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through all 3 of them. That is an HTC. So you're going to do this in every single chain that you just made. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, grab your yarn, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. You're going to repeat that until you get to the end of your string. See, on every stitch until you get to the end of your chain. Okay, so that is an HTC. Your first row of your front panel, your back panel, both of your sleeves will look like this. Okay, when you get here to the final stitch, you are going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to change it up a little bit. Not too much, a little bit. So let me explain quickly. When you look from the top, you will see the stitches that you just made creates a bit of a V.
This is the front loop, the one facing you. This is the back loop going that way. We are going to work, we are going to work through the back loop, still doing HDC, but only through the back loop. So you're going to yarn over, second chain from the hook, so not that one, this one, only through the back loop instead of through both. Okay, pull up your yarn, yarn over and pull through all three. That is an HDC in the back loop only. So yarn over, put your hook through the back loop only, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. And this is your pattern for your entire sweater. Once you've made a few rows, you will see that it creates the ribbing effect, the lines that you see of the sweater. It has a natural stretch, so like I explained, don't stretch it when you measure the width. Okay, so at the last stitch, I recommend, it's totally up to you, to either go through the back loop only again, or only at the final stitch of every row to go through both loops. By doing this, you create a nice and neat straight line here. Okay, so let's just do this one more time. You chain one and turn, yarn over, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook in the back loop only. There you go. And this is your pattern all the way to the end. Final stitch, you're going to do HDC through both stitches for a nice neat straight line. Front loop and back loop. Sometimes you have to maneuver it a little bit. And there you go. So now you can see the ribbing effect. So it's got a bit of a stretch, not too much, but it makes those nice lines. Very defined stitches, like I said, so make sure that you work neatly. When your starting string yarn is on your bottom right hand corner, this is your front side. This is the right side of your work. And this is also how you're going to count your rows. So you will see this bump is 2 rows. So it's 1, 2, 3. We've made 3 rows now. So you count these bumps and that is 2 rows. So now you're going to measure the width across your body, and then you're going to make a note of how many rows you've made, and you're going to repeat that with your back panel, and then you have 2 front panels. Once you've completed that, you can pause my video and come back, and I will show you the next step.
Hi! Okay, so now we've made 2 panels, front and back, and they should look a little bit like this. So you're going to take your first panel, whichever one, and you're going to fold it in half with the lines running down, obviously. And you're going to place a stitch marker right in the center, like this. Open it and measure it against your body, and make sure that the stitch marker aligns with the center of your neck. You're going to place another stitch marker right about here. I usually do like 4 fingers from the line of my neck, and I place it there. It's something that you can always amend later. I'll show you how. And then you're going to fold it back in half again and put the other stitch marker, the third one, right opposite this one. And for good measure, you can just count the rows because it needs to be the same distance. Okay, I dropped my other panel. Give me a second. Okay, so now you're going to place them on top of each other. I'm just holding it like this, but you're going to do it on a flat surface so it's easier. You're going to hold it like this. And now you're going to take this stitch marker and place it through both of the panels, front and back, and close it properly. Okay, and you're going to do the same on this side, like so. Okay, so now they are all slightly attached, you can remove the middle one. Check it. Okay, more or less you can measure if you want, but yeah. Now you're going to do the test and pull it over your head to see if it fits. just gently because it's not attached yet. Okay, so mine fits. I can pull it over my head. Okay, so if it's too tight and you can't get it over your head, you're going to move the stitch markers that way. If it's too big, move it inwards. Remember, once you move it on this side, you have to do it on the other side. It needs to be equal. Okay, so the next step is we are going to sew these seams closed, this side and that side. We're going to work from the edge towards the neckline in case it's too big or too small, and you can just loosen it or add a few stitches. Okay, I'll show you how to do that now.
All right, so now I'm going to cut a piece of string like that. Put it through your needle. Okay, so now we are going to sew the sides, the seam sides, from the edges towards the center. Okay, so you're just going to insert your needle and your thread, your yarn in there, and I just make like another loop like that. Sorry. And you're basically just going to sew it together. Don't pull it too tight because it's going to, if it's too tight, it's going to gather here and wrinkle and look weird. So just keep it nice and relaxed. So all the way from the edges, I'm going to do this in the entire video, but all the way from the edges towards the center. When you get here, don't cut your string and don't tighten it or knot it. Then you just do the other side from the edge to the center and do the test again. Put it over your head and see if it fits comfortably. Okay, so once you've done that, I will meet you back and show you the next step.
Okay, so our shoulder seams are done. Just for double checking, mine still fits. Okay, so now the next thing is a little pinch test. You're going to take your back panel with your front panel and you just kind of pinch it like that, and without stretching, just see if it's nice and comfortable, especially around the bust area. Okay, so mine is nice. I like a loose fit. And if, for instance, yours are a little bit too big, you can remove the rows at the side, or if it's too small, you can add rows on the sides. Remember what you do in the front, on this side, you have to do on that side. Okay, so the next thing is sort of like when you did the front and the back panels, you're going to now do the sleeves. You're going to make another string of chains and you're going to place it gently from here, run it down your arm until where you want it to end. Keep in mind the cuff that needs to be added. Okay, so the same. Okay, you're going to make the chains, do the HDC row, do the HDC in the back loop only row, carry on and carry on. The width you're going to determine, let's pretend this is your sleeve pattern. You're going to wrap it around your arm. Okay, this is obviously way too big. You're going to wrap it around your arm slightly right here to determine your width and your armhole. Okay, so it's going to obviously be less than your front and your back, but then you're going to just see how wide you want it and write down the amount of chains you made for the length of your sleeve. Write down the amount of rows you've made because you need to duplicate it on the other side because we have two sleeves. Okay, and then once you've done that, I'll show you how to attach your sleeves to your sweater and the next thing. Enjoy!
All right, now you're going to lay flat your two panels that you've just attached. So front and back, and you are going to pull this closer. This is your seam line from your shoulder. You're going to take your sleeve that you've made. This is my sleeve. Fold it in half like this, and you're going to align this center like that, with the center, yeah, the line, just like that, nice and loose. And you're going to attach your sleeve to the body using string and your needle. And take your string again. Oopsie. Oof, sorry, I'm so out of camera. Okay, like that. And you're going to do exactly what you did when you did this. Attach your yarn like that. Make it nice and tight. Oopsie, I did that too fast. Pull it, tick tick, not too hard. And then you're going to go through the stitch on the body of the sweater, through the stitch on the sleeve, all the way from this side to that side, and you're going to repeat it with the other sleeve. When you're done with that, I'll meet you back. Okay, so both my sleeves are now attached to the sides of my sweater. Now you're going to pick up your sweater as if it is normal, like that. Now you are going to sew the sleeves from the edge to the armhole, and from the armhole all the way down to the edge of the bottom edge of your sweater. Okay, so this way, and then you're going to repeat it on the other side, and I'll meet you when you're done. Okay, so now that you have sewn the sides together, it kind of looks, well, it should look like a sweater. We are now going to do the cuffs, the bottom ribbing, and the neckline. I'm only going to show you on a sleeve, and then you're going to do the same thing for around the neckline and around the bottom of your sweater if you prefer. So the very first thing to do is to weave in this end so it's not in the way. Okay, so you're going to put your needle in the yarn, and you're just going to wiggle it. This is now on the inside of your sweater, okay? Through, let me come closer. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle through all the stitches like that. Pull it softly, gently, don't tuck it, don't pull it, because it's gonna move and change your shape of your sleeve. Okay, and then you go back this way, slightly, and just for good measure again. Okay, and you pull it out, and now you can cut it. Please do not cut your sweater. You do not, oh my goodness, my clippers are all wonky. You don't want to start over, not now, you're almost at the end. Okay, so also very important to know, you have now moved to your smaller hook size. Remember in the beginning I told you about the smaller hook size. You're going to go down one size. Whatever size you used, I'm on a 3.5 now. Okay, so now at this side seam that you just created, you're going to insert your hook, grab your yarn, and pull it through like that. Okay, and you're going to make a chain. Now we are going to make a single crochet around this edge, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Just put this small end inside your sleeve so that it's out of the way. We'll work in the weave in the ends later. Work in the weaves. Okay, so you are going to make single crochets all around. So remember when we counted the rows, the bumps was 2 rows. So between every bump you have 2 single crochets, so 1 for each row. You're just going to measure more or less with your eyes where you want to place these single crochets. Oops. Just space them out evenly. It doesn't matter. All the way around, and then I'll meet you back where we started. Okay, once you've made your way around, you are now going to insert your hook into that first single crochet that you've made. Grab your yarn, pull it over, and make a slip stitch so you directly go through. You don't yarn over. Okay, now comes the little bit tricky part, but very easy still. Now you're going to chain 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you're going to make single crochets all the way to this side. Let me just take this out of the way so you can see properly. Not the first chain, the second chain. You're going to insert your hook, grab your yarn, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both. That's a single crochet. Insert, grab, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all the way towards your sleeve. Oops. My goodness, it's so tight and curly. Just pull it out of the way. Okay, so make sure you have 8 single crochets back towards your sleeve. Okay, now the next step is you're going to make slip stitches in the next 2 single crochets that you did around the edge. So there's the first one. I'm going to insert directly through that loop. Another one directly, and now you're going to flip your work. Now, like with this pattern for the sweater, you're going to do single crochet in the back loop only. So, not the first one, the second one, you're going to insert, not the first one, the second one. Okay, so you're going to insert in the back loop only. Pull up your yarn, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. Insert in the back loop only, pull up, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, all the way to the end. And the same applies with HTC back loop only, like you've done for your sweater. In the final stitch, you put them through both the loops because you want a neat straight edge. This is the edge of your sleeve, not a normal edge. Okay, at this end you're going to chain 1, flip your work back, single crochet in the back loop only, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, you're going to go single crochet back loop only towards here, 8 of them, then slip stitch, flip your work, single crochet all the way back, until you get up to here, and then I will meet you there. Okay, so I have made my way all the way around with this ribbing stitch. Now I have reached where I started. Okay, so we are going to close this gap with slip stitches. Okay, so with your yarn at the back here on this side, you are going to insert your hook into that corner stitch over there, yarn over, pull through both of them like that. Now hold these 2 together, and you're going to do a slip stitch through every single one. Remember, there's 8. So you're going to insert your hook in both of these stitches. Oh, this keeps splitting. Okay, and then on that side through both, grab your yarn, pull it up and through, slip stitch. Next one, all the way there, pull it up and through. Okay, so you're just going to make slip stitches all the way towards the end. Okay, almost there. This is the most tedious part of sweater making for me when we follow the pattern that we've done. Yeah. Okay. And then that last one and that last one. Just wiggle it. Okay, and slip stitch. And then, where's my clippers? You're gonna cut your yarn. Oop. Pull it through, pull it nice and tight. And there's your cuff. Okay. So you are going to do this with the other sleeve. And at the bottom and around your neck, you're going to do the exact same. And I will meet you after that, as I have a little surprise for everyone who finished this video up until here, who watched up until here. Okay, I'll see you just now.
Hello. Okay, so it's the next day for me because it took some time to complete my sweater. This is what it looks like. I'm super chuffed. Mine is just perfect. Okay, so congratulations. If you've also completed yours, please go onto my social media. The links are in the description and show me what yours look like. I would really like to see. Also, like, subscribe, share with your friends. That means quite a lot to me. So the bonus that I talked about at the end is this. If you're making this sweater for someone else, or if you are a strict pattern follower, I got you. So in the description is a link to my Etsy shop. I have the pattern there that I designed and scaled and made for sizes small to extra large using double knit yarn. So you can hop onto my Etsy shop, get your pattern. It's a digital download. And yeah, happy crocheting and thanks for watching my video.